My name is Silvia. Today I have with me Nicholas Stambuli. He is considered an atheist. Nick, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your religious background?
Okay. So first, for my educational background, I have a bachelor's in science and environmental policy from Rutgers University, and then went on to my master's in education at Montclair State University. Currently, I'm an English teacher at Montclair High School, going to my second year of teaching, and I'm also the coach and program coordinator for the Special Olympics in Clifton. As far as religious background, I was raised in a very religious household. My father was a Catholic, and I was baptized in the Catholic Church. And then I went through confirmation and communion in my mom's church, which is an evangelical Lutheran church. When I was about 13, 14, I realized that I just didn't have a strong personal connection to religion and started experimenting with different religions. I looked at Taoism, Buddhism, Wiccan, agnosticism, and eventually came on to atheism as one that I felt most strongly about. And there's a biologist from Princeton named John Bonner, and he said that one time he looked out his window and he saw all the birds having just this perfectly fine existence and managing themselves well without God and religion. So he thought, well, if they can do that, why can't he? And that's kind of what led me to be an atheist. And there's a lot of different forms of atheism, like humanism, a lot of Buddhism can be considered atheist. I consider myself specifically a naturalist. Okay.
All right, so a lot of times when the word atheist is mentioned, people automatically assume devil worshiper or complete lack of belief in anything. What are your views on that?
So first, atheism is definitely not devil worshipping. Devil worshipping actually goes against all the ideas of atheism because it believes that there is some sort of supernatural being that acts on people's lives. Mm-hmm. And there is a really poor stigma about atheists and a lot of prejudice towards them. However, there was a survey a couple years ago, I think in 2010, by the Pew Forum, which showed that atheism, and specifically like no religion, is the third largest religion in the world, according to that survey. And atheism itself is one of the fastest growing religions, so it is still spreading.
Okay. And does atheism just mean that you don't believe in God, or what is it?
Atheism is a belief that there is no God, so there's no supernatural, there's no one up there who's just pulling all the strings and acting on our lives. The world just simply exists. But according to one of my greatest favorite books, Anarchy, Evolution, said that people defining themselves against something says very little about what you are for. So I think it's important to go into what atheists are for, not just what they're against.
Okay, so then what exactly do you believe in then?
So because I consider myself a naturalist, what I do believe in is science. So I believe the physical universe is the universe. There's no supernatural forces acting on nature because there's no evidence for anything beyond our own or outside our own existence. Basically, instead of believing in just dogma and social constructs, I believe in facts and truth and everything science has looked for in the natural world. I believe myself, I believe in the power of the human mind, the power of the human spirit, believe that life is beautiful regardless of how it began, and I believe that the purpose of life, as one of my favorite authors, Kurt Vonnegut, put it, is just to love whoever is around to be loved. But like to sum it all up, apart from the gushy stuff, what it comes down to is that as an atheist, I believe in science, which is that truth can only be derived from observation, experimentation, and verification. And it's those three things.
Okay. So a lot of people that develop illness or injury often have religious reason as to why it occurred, like it's part of God's plan, karma, they deserved it, or just complete lack of faith. What is atheist view on causes of injury?
So I'd like to think that when it comes to any kind of injury, I have the same perspective of any doctor, just not the medical degree behind it. And with that's that there is a scientific explanation. Because remember, it's all about observation, experimentation, and verification. So if I came to the ER and my arm was killing me because I fell, the doctor would look at it, they would take an x-ray, and confirm whether or not I had a broken arm and treat it accordingly. So the whole presence of religion is just completely void with getting some kind of medical diagnosis. All it really does is complicate a situation, and it would add really nothing to help the healing process or with the fact that my arm is broken. I think the same is true for any illness. I mean, if I have cancer, the last thing I want to hear is that God planned it. Right. What I want is for a doctor to tell me what's wrong and how to treat it. I mean, it's a profession based on symptoms, causes, effects, reactions, not paranormal speculations.
Okay. Then is it religion? Is it that religion shouldn't play a part in medicine at all, or should it be completely taken out of medicine?
So I believe that religion should in no way be connected with medicine. Richard Dawkins is a famous evolutionary biologist and a devout atheist, and he has some awesome articles on how religion can actually harm the healing process. There have been countless children who've been denied certain health care because of their parents' religious beliefs. And there's actually an organization called CHILD. It's the Children's Healthcare is a Legal Duty, which aims to protect children from harmful religious practices.
All right. So what about prayer and faith in the healing process? Do you think that having prayer and faith or a positive attitude help with the healing process?
I think they do help the healing process. I mean, faith especially absolutely helps the healing process. But you can have hope and strength without having prayer. But that's just called determination. That's grit. That's human willpower. Atheists have faith. I mean, everybody has to believe in something. It's human nature to have some kind of belief. So we have faith. We have hope. I just believe that prayer itself is no replacement for modern medicine.
Okay. All right. And overall, as an atheist, what causes illness and injury?
Science and misfortune.
Okay. And then how can it be cured?
Science and determination. And I think one of the last points that I thought would be interesting to add into this is that we can't think that religion can ever pose a cure for illness. I mean, polio wasn't fought with prayer and optimism. Like, there's a lot of science that went into it. Someone used observation and experimentation and verification to find a vaccine. And if you think of how big a role of religion has played with the spread of AIDS in Africa, especially, where if everyone in the country held some kind of atheist perspective, it would be in much better shape because religion isn't playing that role in illness, causes of illness, ideas of causes of illness, and the whole healing process. I think religion gets in the way a lot, and people just need to really be more science-based. Just give me the facts.
Okay, agreed. So that's about it. I think you really gave us some great insight on atheism and guided us through some misconceptions on atheism. So I want to thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. No, you're cutting that out.